put together years and years and years ago for giant tunnel boring machines capable of just drilling through anything for huge amounts of miles in very short periods of time. And those patents were formed, and then these machines supposedly never made it into production, but we know that they possibly exist.
Underground secret bases, otherwise known as D.U.M.B, deep underground military bases. Yeah, they're there, and I've seen the specs and the pictures of the giant boring machines that they have that can just cut right through heavy rock and produce it within minutes a tunnel that's big enough to drive a 18-wheeler through. And so, yeah, these bases exist. Now, what exactly they'll be used for, if they'll ever be used, that's another question.
Corso was speaking about only one aspect. The fact is, the number of craft have been in the hands of the U.S. government for decades, being extensively studied with billions of dollars, primarily in underground facilities, where they are trying to re-engineer and achieve, well, weapons and what have you.
And I went to this place called Nordhausen, which was a vast underground base where they still had some of the U-2 engines, and the Russians had just put some rocks in there and left it where you could see the technology from Petamunda and the V2, the V3, the V4. And I believe that technology moved so fast, I almost believe there might have been some help from some other people not of our world.
There's been a lot of talk about maybe mixed human-alien partnerships working in some of these underground bases, such as the one that is reportedly at Dulce, New Mexico. That is in my file. I go, huh. Okay, I've heard enough to suggest that there may be something to all that, and yet I've not seen hard enough evidence to just say conclusively, yes, that exists and that's happening.
That's one of those areas where we do not have 100% certainty. We have a lot of evidence and a lot of some first-hand and second-hand testimony that implies underground facilities, but we know that they have that. They built underground facilities as part of the Cold War.
We actually drove up to the Dulce base to get some establishing shots up there. So we started driving up toward the Archuleta Mesa, which is where the base is. We were being followed, and we all became a little bit unsettled and a little concerned that we were getting ourselves into something that could get us into trouble. So we got out of there.
The question is, do we have underground facilities devoted to the extraterrestrial question? And there is evidence for that. The issue of the relationship between extraterrestrials and technology, terrestrial technology, is a very interesting, complex issue. It became a significant matter when Colonel Philip Corso wrote his book, The Day After Roswell, where he stated matter-of-factly that he was in charge under General Trudeau at the Foreign Technology Desk in trying to sprinkle some of the ideas obtained from examining the Roswell craft.
If we've recovered alien craft and we've back-engineered technology, then we really don't want to put it out that we have this and that we know about it. And sadly, that's a detriment to the advancement of collective human civilization.
Which is to say that if, in fact, the United States government has mastered the ability to tap into ground state fields and is sequestering that technology, it is criminal, because the availability of that technology would transform this planet, save hundreds of millions of lives, and solve a great deal of our most difficult problems. And so every day that the truth embargo continues and that technology is sequestered, people are dying because of it. So in their attitude is, well, yeah, now some people are going to die, but we still want another 20 years of secrecy. Well, tell that to the people that are suffering. And we know too much now. It's too much out in the open. So now the blood is on their hands. We are paying a fortune for energy. People are dying because they can't afford water, food. We're polluting the environment, killing people with cancer. And they are sitting on transformative energy that might be 1 cent on the dollar. Plus, we have evidence that we have in fact reverse engineered antigravitic propulsion, and we have our own saucers.
As we get a better understanding of the nature of reality, I believe that what today has no scientific explanation at all is going to be accepted as a scientific norm in the future. And when that happens, it's going to change the face of civilization on every level.
So for decades, we have had antigravitic propulsion, but it is not known or available to the public because to do so would result in ending the truth embargo, and therefore it must remain sequestered. The most important question of all regarding the ET technology is, have we mastered and even reverse engineered the energy system that drives those craft? We're pretty sure it's not oil, gas, or coal. In fact, our own physics points to the likelihood that they have finally figured out how to tap into the ground state fields. If they have done that, it is a paradigm shift of such magnitude, it's almost impossible to describe.
What if they cure cancer? What if they help us clean away pollution and help these children with respiratory problems and water problems and help us make this the paradise that we had when we got this planet?
We've been using that wreckage to reverse engineer this technology. I believe we have a technology right now that's far beyond what the public even knows about.
Now, it's an interesting point. Given that we have the ability in a device smaller than a laptop to store the entire Library of Congress, every book in it, and more, the idea that extraterrestrials may have storage ability to have enormous archives regarding this planet, in which case we might have the opportunity at some future time to directly research our ancient history with visual records.
Look at all the historical events that we don't have eyewitness testimony from, whether it's Moses, in the Red Sea or whatever. So there are all kinds of possibilities.